Hi everyone, welcome to Miller Piano Specialist almost live Facebook event. We're just going to go ahead and film this. I think it's going to be easier this way. I'm Lori Frazer from the keyboard division of Yamaha. I apologize for last night and technical difficulties. Not sure what's going on exactly. I've got a lot of technology going on here, so hopefully everything will cooperate this time around. So tonight we're going to talk about back to school. It's hard to believe that it's back to school. It still feels like summer here. We're well over 100 degrees every day, and it still feels like summer here in Tucson, Arizona. But school actually has been in for 3 weeks. And with school means new learning, new activities, excitement. And really, I feel that music is the same way. And after taking the summer off, a lot of the kids are coming back. A lot of us adults are coming back to playing again. And it's an exciting time. So tonight we're going to talk about some learning skills, some learning technology, just some fun things. And actually, speaking of fun, I'm going to go ahead and just start playing some music. So I'm actually sitting at a Yamaha Clavinova CSP, and we actually have 3 families of Clavinovas. CLP, which I affectionately call the Clavinova Legitimate Piano. I think we all kind of do. CSP, the Clavinova Smart Pianist, and CVP, the Clavinova Variety Piano or Versatile Piano. And they all have their own, they're really quite different, but in some ways they're also the same. So we're just going to start off with a little bit of music. And this is called Clocks. One thing I love about working with technology is that not only can it help me learn about different songs and how to play them, but I also love playing with the orchestrated backgrounds because it really just makes you sound so much more complete. But I'm going to back up a little bit and show you a little bit about how this happened, where these things are. So this particular app that I'm running right now is called Smart pianist, and it will interface with the CLP 600 series from 635 and above, CLP series 700 series, 735 and above, CSP series 150, 170, and CVP 805 and 809. So depending on what you're hooked up to, depends on what's going to show up in your screen. So we can play with great sounds, we can close, we can open the lid. But when we go down into songs, this is where the learning begins. So I'm just going to touch the title on the left-hand side. Now, if you're doing this on a CLP, you're not going to see this particular folder that says 50 popular. These songs require orchestral voices that don't live in the CLP, but they do in CSP and in CVP. So essentially, let's do a different song. Maybe we'll do like Fields of Gold, and I'm going to press done. So if you're wanting to learn the song, obviously trying to do something up to tempo is very, very difficult, especially in that particular speed. So what you'll notice over here, as I'm sliding it up and down, is that you have tempo control. So you can play something very, very slowly, and then you can, as you improve, you can start to play it a little bit faster. Now, if you are working on CSP and CVP, we have a couple things. On CVP, it will run the follow lights. On CSP, it will run smart lights, and that is done here by the button that says guide. So what this will do is it will actually wait for me. So I'm going to fast forward into the song because it's got a really, really long introduction. And so if I tell it, I want you to guide me through the right hand, I just touch the right mark, and let's go ahead and start. And now the light is showing me the note, and the app is waiting for me. Now, if I play the wrong note, it won't move forward. Now, let's say my left hand needs practice instead. So now let's have it show me where to play the left hand notes. And my lights show up, it's showing me what notes to play. And again. And then when you play the right notes, it'll keep going. So this is something that you'll find again on CSP and CVP, the instruments that have the light systems in them, whether it's the stream lights or the follow lights on the CVP. So if we turn off the guide, it will just play everything in order without stopping and waiting for you to play the correct note. So another thing that you might see down here is something that says backing. Backing will just turn off the orchestra. So if you just want to hear the piece just as a piano piece, you can do that. If you're not comfortable in playing in this key, this particular one happens to be 2 sharps. We can just take the transpose and move it down. Actually, now we're in the key of B. I moved too far. Let's move it up 1. Come on, -2. There we go. There we go. Now the song is in the key of C. So you can customize these, you can play them at your own speed, you can do one hand, you can do 2 hands, whatever you're comfortable with. If you, let's just go back to the beginning of the song. We'll just go ahead and rewind here. If we go back to the beginning of the song, maybe starting from here, and I've just touched the screen where I want the song to start, there is something on here called AB. And you'll see this on a lot of different things. That's a rehearsal marker. So if I just want to fine tune, let's say the first couple of measures, I'm going to touch AB. I'm going to let the song play. I'm going to touch it again, and now it's going to loop that for me so I can keep practicing it. on the guide and do just the right hand. 1, 2, 3. Again, if you play the wrong note, nope, and so on. So that's what the A-B marker does. And you'll see that actually in multiple apps. It's what we call a rehearsal marker, and it has nothing to do with what we call the A form of music or the B form of music. It's just to mark a spot to rehearse. When you don't want that anymore, you just turn it off and it'll play the song all the way through. So looking at some things that will be in all of the instruments, whether it's CLP, CVP, or CSP, is the section that's called 50 Classics. So if I open the Canon in D, and also if you just need some background music when you're having a party, down at the bottom of the screen there's a play button. And if you press the play icon, these songs will just play in order. And so you can just do your vacuuming or your cooking and actually listen to your piano play. But if you want to play along when you press done, it will bring up the score. Now, depending on the instrument that you have, depends on how the iPad connects to your instrument. Currently, underneath the instrument, so that I can use the output of my screen, of my iPad so you can see it, I'm hooked up with something that's called a UDWL01. And a UDWL01 is a wireless device, and I'm just going to go into my settings here for a moment so that you can see this. So when you open Wi-Fi, you'll actually see your CSP, and then you select CSP, and note that right now you are not currently on the internet. This is just creating a connection between your iPad and the piano. So going back to the Smart Pianist app, and if we go back to the opening page, you can see right now it is connecting. It's reconnecting, because once you've closed the app, it needs to reconnect. And down in the lower left-hand corner, you can see where it says instrument, and you can see that there's a green light. And if you just want to double check on that, you can touch that and you can see the check mark that it is in fact connected. And you can also hardwire this. You can hardwire it by, I have quite a bird's nest here. You can hardwire it by using the USB cable that you plug in over here onto this side. I don't have the right cable with me. It's just a USB cable to Lightning. Same thing that you actually use for your charger. If you happen to have a newer iPad that has a USB-C as your adapter, you'll actually get what's called a camera kit, and you will plug in down below using a printer cable, which is what we call an AB. So depending on the instrument you have, just depends on your cable. And there's actually, if you go onto the website, onto usa.yamaha.com, and if you type in your instrument, there's a page on there for downloads. And in downloads, there's supplementary manuals in addition to the owner's manual that you already have. So there's manuals on there about connecting and what works and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so going back to songs, so this particular one just happens to be the Canon in D. These are the same pieces that come in the book that was in your bench pack. So if you just wanted to, again, just listen to it, you can just listen to it. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you can change the key. You can play along right over the top of it. You also have a volume control here, and the volume control is the iPad's volume. So on pieces that have orchestral backgrounds, or even just playing along with this, if this is too loud and you want to hear more of yourself, you can turn the volume down accordingly. So again, these are found under the 50 Classics, and you can see that there are quite a few of them. When we get into the masterpieces, these are some of the bigger works. This is where you'll find like Free Lease. If you want to work on Free Lease, that's where it happens to be. there is another category in here that's called lesson. And again, you'll find this on all the product categories. And with the lesson, you have the Bayer exercises. And let's just take a look at those so you can just see what one of those looks like. And then when we press done, here is the score. And this is really just kind of practicing note reading. Very simple, not difficult, but really, really great for sight reading. Again, just pressing the title, which one do you want to play? And then now this will bring up another one. So you have the Bayer books, you have the Bergmuller, some of the Bergmuller pieces you might recognize in here, the Czerny exercises, as well as the Hanon exercises. And I used to love it. They used to say, Hanon exercises for the virtuoso pianist. So it really, really works on your technique. And again, you can bring up the Hanon exercise. You can see it's pretty black. But the one thing about a Hanon exercise is that they're patterns. So if you learn the first pattern, then the next one starts on D, then E, and it's the same pattern over and over and over again. So if you just watch the patterns, you don't have to read all of this if you don't want to. And again, you can separate out the hands, right hand and left hand. So there is a lot of material just within your CSP app, or actually it's what they call the Smart Pianist app, to get you well on your way, that you can use with both CLP, CSP, and CVP. So I'm going to make just a little change here in my setup. I'm going to plug in an audio cable. This is an 1/8-inch audio cable. It's plugged into the headphone jack of my iPad, and it's plugged in down underneath here into what's called the auxiliary in. So some apps, educational apps and playing apps, some will play directly through your piano where you can hear the audio, some of them don't. So in this particular case, I'm just kind of playing it safe and making sure that it does. So I'm just going to exit out of Smart Pianist for a moment. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disconnect from the internet. And I am just going to go ahead and reconnect to my home internet network, because these next apps that I'm going to show you require internet connectivity. The other thing about these apps that I'm going to show you is that they, some of them you don't even have to be tethered to a digital piano. You can actually use them with an acoustic piano as well, and they're flexible and they're fun. And so if I open up this folder on my iPad that's called Music, you can see that I have quite a few different apps in here. I have ones for practicing rhythm. Another one that you may want to look into when you're working with your CSP, and actually, again, you can use this with others as well. This is what's called Flow Key. Because I have the output coming out of my screen right now, I can't show this as it should be done, but these different songs you can go through and you can learn. We'll just load one up anyway, even though it's not necessarily going to work like it should. So if we look at the song Imagine, we have a choice. I'm going to press Learn Song. It's loading up the song, and again, remember, you have to be connected to the internet. And then what we have here is we have a graphic that shows you where your hands go. If I'm hooked up properly to my CSP, this works with CSP, it will actually show me the streamlights of where I am to play. If you're not hooked up to CSP, it's fine, because it still shows you the notes for the right hand and the left hand. If you want to drill the hands individually, you can do that. So now it's waiting for me to actually play something. So it won't move forward until I move forward. So when we were in this first page right here, you can actually choose your level. So if you're just getting started, you can say, could you please show me the beginner pieces? And if you look in the corner, you can see that there are green tabs in the corner for beginning. If I say, well, maybe I could play some intermediate things too, that is the green. Once you become a little bit more advanced, you can say, okay, don't show me the beginner versions anymore. I just want to see the intermediate and the advanced. And then if you become professional level, then you have the professional level. So you can put this app in wait mode, which means it will wait for you until you play the right notes. One thing to know about FlowKey is that it's piano sound only. So if you're expecting orchestral backgrounds to come in, there aren't going to be any. It's just for piano. And there are hundreds and hundreds of songs in this app. So learning from an app and learning songs is great, but it doesn't replace a teacher. It's kind of like having a microwave in my oven is great, but it's never going to replace my acoustic oven or my regular conventional oven. I like that analogy from Craig Knutson because the two technologies appear the same, but in fact, they're really quite different. They do very, very different things. I think apps are a great way to supplement, especially now that we're not out a whole lot. And they're great to build your skills, your note reading skills, your timing skills. And you know what? They're just plain fun. That's probably the most important thing. And so, so these apps that I'm showing you, they're really not designed in any way to replace a piano teacher. They're designed to supplement what a piano teacher does. And, you know, quite honestly, some people just work on apps alone, and that's okay. You know, teachers obviously can help you think with things like proper weight of the wrist, with articulations, with dynamic markings, fingering. Some of the apps have fingerings in them, not all. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to another app. I go back to my music folder again, and we're going to look at one. They say it's for kids. I don't think it's for kids. I just think it's darn fun. This app, as many of them are, is a subscription. I happen to have the teacher version of it, so my app is going to look a little bit different. This can be used with a digital piano. This can be used with an acoustic piano because the microphone listens. So if I say start with any student, you can see who the student is here. And it says, do I want to move your lesson to Thursday? No, that's okay. Leave it where it is. So this shows how much I've practiced. No, I'm not going to claim my points right now. So when you open up the app, you have a lot of different choices. Journey will actually take you on musical journeys where you can learn about different things. What do quarter notes do? What do half notes do? That type of thing. So Journey is kind of a whole lesson program that this app has in it. One of the things that I love about this, if I had a teaching studio right now, because I have this app and I have the subscription, I can invite my students in to this app, and you would have seen them listed like you just saw only me. And what happens is that when the kiddo goes on and they are practicing, the app is keeping track of the practice that they're doing. And so at every Sunday night, I'll get an email Sunday night telling me if I did decent or not. But every Sunday night, you will get a report saying this student practiced this much, worked on this song. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to go into this is a brand new section that just opened up here. And so we can do part of your world. And you can see that you have a choice here. Do you want to just do the melody? Do you want to do both hands? What do you want to do? Let's go ahead. Let's do this one. If I want to learn it, this has got a nice little audio singer, so it almost sounds like that we're playing with Ariel. If I do learn will take me through step by step each phrase. So if I say, okay, I want to learn this phrase first. And so it will load it up. It will grade me. It says what, okay, there we go. Now it knows what piano I'm playing, what sound I'm playing. Okay, now I want you to watch this guy on the side with the headphones on. Now I'm going to play some wrong notes. Oh, whoops. says, nope, you can't go on until you move forward. Oh, wrong note again. So he does not in the least bit look impressed. He does not in the least bit look impressed when you're playing a bunch of wrong notes. In fact, he doesn't like it at all. So we're just going to go ahead and let's try to get through this. Watch the sun coming up. Now it's going to do that line again. Here we go. Now he's excited. Look at the sunglasses come on. And it's going to give me one more shot at it. All right, now he's excited. Now let's see. And now they're going to grade me. How did I do? Not great. I got the notes right. My timing was a little off. And then I can go next. And we just go on until we finish. And then once you finish, let's go back to the menu. Once we finish, we can actually play the whole song, complete with the voice and everything. Let's see, this one? I don't think so. Oh yes, we hear the little background. And here will come in the singer.
Look at the star, isn't it neat? More than you think, my collection's complete. Isn't it neat? The girl who wrote everything. Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can compare? Looking around here, it's sure she's got everything. I forget to sing these songs again. I got roses and roses with balloons I want to do. But who cares? No big deal. I went I wanna see you dancing on your mountains. What do you call them?
Anyway, I won't play the whole song. But if we played the whole song, it would grade us. It would let us know if we've done a good job. It would tell us what our timing values are, if we did it correctly. And then if you do a really great job, the app's actually listening to you and it records you. And then there's a little place that you can take your picture and it puts it into a postcard and then you can email the performance out to family and friends. So that's called Piano Maestro. It's by a company called JoyTunes. Fun program, very, very robust, lots of things in it. Whoops, sorry. Wrong, we've already seen that one. Let's go back to the music app. Then there's another one which is really great called Simply Piano, and that's exactly what it is. It has a little bit of orchestration in it. Again, this is something that you can use with acoustic piano. It's something that you can use obviously hooked up to the instrument. Again, I'm not quite hooked up the way that I normally would be because of the sharing, but you can go into courses and they have in here essentials and you can learn chords and you can learn C position. It's very sequential in its learning. And then you can actually just go to songs. And in the songs, I just favorited up a couple of them. It's hard to believe that it is September, and before we know it, Halloween will be here. And so there's a really kind of a fun version in here of the Addams Family. Now, if we want to learn these parts separate, again, this breaks it down just like Piano Maestro did, because Simply Piano is from the same company. You can look at these at joytunes.com if you'd like, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase. We're going to play the full song.
sweet, petite,
Kind of fun. So again, now this is going to time me. How did I do? Well, I guess I missed a couple notes. My timing wasn't great, mostly because I was playing staccato and those notes weren't written staccato. So anyway, fun app, Simply Piano. Just another enjoyable way to enjoy your instruments. Another app we're going to take a look at here is one that's called Playground Sessions. Now, Playground Sessions is a little bit, again, it's a subscription. You can do it by the month. You can do it by the year. And again, this has got rookie, intermediate, advanced, and these are actual video lessons. And Harry Connick Jr. teaches some of the lessons. And so if we wanted to learn about, five-finger position, and you can see over on the right-hand side what I've completed, what I haven't completed. If we want to work on what we call both hand practice, we can bring up pieces of music, and we can practice different pieces of music. Let's see, what should we do here? I don't know. How about Circle of Life, maybe? Okay, let's do Circle of Life. So I'm going to hit play the lesson. Now, you can see that it goes through lesson by lesson. So lesson number 1, it's teaching me this. Lesson number 2, it's teaching me this. Lesson number 3, 4, 5, 6 is actually the entire arrangement. And again, these will have orchestra.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, set, go.
Now this will grade me as well. Says, wow, this wasn't so very great. So I missed some notes, my accuracy, I had lots of wrong notes. So anyway, this will grade you. Yeah, okay, I get it. But if probably what I should have done is gone back and done the lessons for you first. But there is lots and lots of content in here. Earlier when I was playing with this, and it wouldn't be too early to start this, there is a holiday medley challenge. I promise I won't boot it up. It's a little too early, I think, in seminars to do Christmas music, but it's really great because you can go through and you can see that originally you'll start off learning Joy to the World, and then you'll be bringing in Jingle Bells, and then you'll be bringing in Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and an intro and ending. So this is a systematic piece that has 17 lessons in it. So depending on if you start now, and if you do a couple lessons a week, you'll have this whole thing mastered by the time it comes. And again, there are video lessons that walk you through and show you the hand positions and that kind of thing. It's a very, very robust program, can be done again on a variety of instruments. So that is Playground Sessions. There are lots of things like flashcards and things like that if you want to learn about music. This is called Flash Note Derby. I'm just going to tell it I want to learn these notes. Now the faster you answer the question, the faster the horse goes. Here we go. Oh, I'm winning. We're almost there. And the last one. Oh, here we go. We're coming into the finish line. There we go. So you can set the range of how many notes that you're doing. It's fun, and there are many. There's many. If you happen to be a teacher, and actually you don't even have to be a teacher to do this. If you go onto Facebook, you can go onto Facebook, and there is a search on there that's called iPad for Piano Teachers, and in there's a whole list of different apps that you could try. So if you're wanting to learn a certain concept, this helps you find an appropriate app, if you will, to play along with. So we're just going to go ahead and bring the CSP back up again and go back to the Smart Pianist app, because there's some other things in here looping back to this, just checking on the time, good, that I'd like to share with you. I'm going to go ahead and open, I'm going to connect my instrument again. In the meantime, I had gone back into my settings and gone back to look at the CSP, and so now it's connecting again, and again I am doing this wirelessly with something called a UDWL01, so that I can have my output so that you can see the screen of what's going on here. So going back to song for a minute, what I really love about working with technology is that it allows us to play the popular music, and the music doesn't even have to be, the current, it can be classics, it can be country, it can be gospel, whatever is exciting for you. These different apps and these different learning opportunities allow us to learn and experience music in a little bit different way, and sometimes maybe faster than what we would have before. So I'm going to go now into something that says, so I'm sorry, I did this a little fast. Going to the menu, going to song. This is the same whether you're on the CLP Smart Pianist app, CSP, or CVP. I'm going to tap in here to song, and I'm going to go into music library. What this is doing now is it's opening up my iTunes library. So anything that I own in iTunes, now that's the important part. If you have something called Apple Music, you're only renting that music. This music you own. So I've put music in here from a variety of different ways. I've taken CDs, loaded them into iTunes in my computer, hooked up my iPad to my computer, took a USB cable, drug those CDs into my iPad so that I have them there. Most of what is on my iPad are things that I've purchased. So I've just gone onto the iTunes store. I've spent, $7.99, $9.99 for a whole album, or I have just purchased one song at a time. Typically, they're under $2 a piece. So in these pieces, I've shown this piece before, but I want to show it again because I think it's so great. This is John Lennon's Imagine. And what I really love about this, and again, we're going to go to Done. Now, on a CLP, if you just press play, it's going to give you chord changes, and you can play along, and those look like this. Now, let me just go in and change this to, actually, let me show you what I've done. Up in the corner where the tool wheel is, you can ask the CSP and the CLP to show you chord changes in different ways. In this particular time, I'm going to ask it, please just show them to me basically. I'm a beginning player, and now you can see that we're just seeing these chords in whole notes and in half notes. And so we can just press the play button and we can play right along with John Lennon. If it's too fast, you can slow the tempo down, even though it's audio. Depending on how you're hooked up and which instrument you're on, you can hit the record button and you can record yourself playing right over the top of John Lennon. On your CSP or on your CVP, there's a microphone jack underneath, and you can also sing and record yourself singing a duet with John Lennon if you choose. So let's go ahead and just kind of close out our education session with imagine how much fun you can have using technology. So you can use it if you're a beginning student, if you're an advanced student. So try it. It's fun. I would like to thank very much Sherry Smith and the whole crew there at Miller Piano Specialists in Franklin, Tennessee for having me. And I hope you've enjoyed this session. And let's just play a little bit of Imagine. I won't do the whole song, but I don't know. We'll see. So here we go. Let's turn the iPad down just a little bit. Here we go. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Have fun, enjoy your music. Until I see you next time. Bye-bye.